Any discussion of New Orleans music is, to a certain extent, going to focus on brass bands. And even though there's a very strong jazz connection to brass bands in New Orleans, in fact, part of what got the ball rolling initially was the monster concert brass bands of the Union Army during the occupation of New Orleans from 1862. One of the problems that the Union Army faced in New Orleans was quelling a very disturbed population. They didn't like to have the Union Army there at all, and they dealt with it by using music to soothe the savage beast that was the New Orleans population. After 1862, Union occupation made a little more difficult for composers to come out in favor of the Confederacy. And so we see an anonymous or pseudonymous composer, A. Confederate, publishing Maryland, My Maryland, which became probably the alternative anthem of the Confederacy in 1862 with Lurline and Halsey. New Orleans people loved music so much they couldn't help but fall for it.
Why, that's Maryland, My Maryland they're playing.
In Maryland, there'd be a price on their heads.
Ironically enough, this piece of music later became part of the brass band repertoire in the Jazz Age, and pretty much every snare drummer in New Orleans knows how to play the melodic line of Maryland, My Maryland, because this was a very popular second line tune. But by 1865, the tone has really shifted. Theodore Van Lahache again publishes Grand Fantasy on I've Fallen on the Battlefield. And so the whole idea of the collapsing Confederacy was also being expressed in sheet music by the time the war was nearing its end.